and welcome to Something Witchy, a Sabrina the Teenage Witch rewatch podcast. I'm Lara Cotter.
And I'm Skye Richard.
I don't know if I have anything to talk about today, do you?
Throwback to when we talked about, when did we talk about like driver's license photos or something like that?
Was that when the Sabrina gets her license episodes?
Maybe.
I think that's
I just got my global entry card.
Oh.
Yeah.
What is that?
I can get through customs quicker because DHS trusts me.
Should they? Have they looked at your social media?
Shh. But when I was filling out the form online, they had me like take a picture with my webcam, and I figured it was like to verify what my passport photo looks like. Didn't think much of it. Get the card, and it's the frickin' photo I took with my webcam. So it is like full-on mugshot. Terrible photo, but hey, my bookcase is now in a government ID. Yeah, there's my fun newest, not license, but ID photo story, I guess.
I think the only thing I had was Kesha is coming out with new music on May 8th.
Ooh, so we should get some new songs for our concert?
Yeah, either the album or it's a single is called Origami. I heard a snip of it, and it sounds good. So excited.
Yay, Kesha.
Yay, Kesha. The question this week, I'm going to give you two options, both not great. What is what we have? Option 1, which Roman emperor would you party with? Option 2, what's your strategy to take over the world?
Well, to take over the world, you start in New Zealand or Australia. Per plain risk. And or Iceland or Greenland. You got to get one of those corners.
That's also how you win, usually, the Plague Inc. game, where you spread an infectious disease across the world. You got to get Madagascar first.
Yeah, I haven't touched that game since COVID. Maybe it's time again. It's still on my phone.
I stopped during COVID. It was a little too real, and then I recently started playing again. I was like, I can handle this now.
As far as Roman emperors, they all have their downfalls. I guess it'd be fun to watch Nero destroy everything. Have a little bonfire, toast some s'mores.
I don't even know if I know enough Roman emperors to answer. I asked this question and I can't even answer it. Although I did read something that the stories of Caligula are perhaps greatly exaggerated by his enemies, and he maybe wasn't as crazy as history has made him out to be. Wikipedia, just give me a list and tell me what they're... There we go. Thank you. This is what I wanted. Ooh, you know who I do want to party with? Not a Roman emperor wife, Agrippina, who poisoned her husband to put her son on the throne. I'm going to go with her. She sounds like a good time. I love how all of these are like, murdered, probably poisoned, murdered, probably poisoned. Committed suicide after being deserted and sentenced to death by the Senate.
I mean, that's about Rome for you, though.
Died of dysentery. That's a, natural cause, at least. That is, by the time we hit about AD 80, we're like dying of natural causes, and then maybe the coup. Eventually, the Romans got a little less murdery. Anyway, that's mine. I'm going with Agrippina. We are on season 3, episode 17, Salem the Boy. TV guide description: Salem gets his wish to be human again for a day and becomes Sabrina's friend Gordie and tries to take over the world. Streaming: Salem's return to human form is short-lived thanks to Roland the Troll and Sabrina's unknowing wishes.
I think I like TV Guide a little more.
Streaming is just misleading. It sounds like Salem somehow got himself turned into human, and Sabrina then comes in and, Sabrina couldn't stop it. So TV Guide is the more accurate one, weirdly.
Who would have thought?
Not me. We have an air date on TV Guide and IMDb of February 19th, 1999, but Hulu said February 26th.
Paramount was also the 19th, so Hulu's drunk again.
Directed by Gary Halverson, written by Nick Bakay. He was busy this episode. He had a large role in it. We have a few guest stars, a few returning. So Henry Gibson is returning as our witch judge. Curtis Andersen is returning as Gordie. And Phil Fondacaro is returning as Roland. Then we have Mary Ann Mobley as herself from things like Designing Women, Different Strokes, The Love Boat, Perry Mason, and Harem Scarum. And she was also the first Miss Mississippi to be crowned Miss America. That's too many misses in that sentence. Glenn Shaddix is Caligula. He is also in Beetlejuice, Planet of the Apes. You might recognize his voice from Nightmare Before Christmas. I believe as Oogie Boogie. I'm not checking it again. I'll either be right or wrong, and I'm going to stand by it. And then also this show called Tattooed Teenage Alien Fighters from Beverly Hills.
I'm down.
That is just the biggest mouthful of a show.
Oh, he is the mayor of Halloween Town.
Oh, he's mayor. Okay, that makes more sense. That does make sense for his voice now that you say that. We last have Jim Wise as Brady. Who's Brady?
I'm assuming Brady is one of the bounty hunters and the other doesn't get a credit or a name.
Okay, that must be. Yeah, when the bounty hunters was speaking. He's also from Even Stevens, Showgirls, The Tonight Show with Jay Leno, and he was a writer on Jimmy Fallon as well. Some things. This is our last Gordie and our last Roland episode. Good news, bad news.
Bittersweet. 6-7.
Did you just say 6-7?
I sure
I'm
did.
sorry. Cut it. We're done. This podcast has run its course. We are done. We will never get through the rest of these episodes. Only one of my piano kids says that to me. Somebody's like, oh, turn the page, go to page 6 and 7. And she goes, 6, 7. She's like, that's so dumb. And people, I'm like, you're the only one who says that. You're the only one of my kids who says that. And you're talking about how dumb it is. And she's like, well, I just do it because it's dumb. And I'm like, okay, cleansing breath. According to the Sabrina wiki, when they're looking at the map of Massachusetts, Mr. Kraft puts a pin in Plymouth County, but in the Hilda and Zelda, the teenage years, when Sabrina gets her vacuum cleaner to fly, she's seen flying over Boston, which would be near Suffolk County. I don't know what any of that matters because she could also fly a long distance.
I mean, Massachusetts is much smaller than, say, Utah. So I feel like it's easier to get from one end to the other.
Especially if you're flying on a vacuum cleaner, like maybe not traffic wise.
Yeah.
Just threw that fact in there because Massachusetts friends, maybe they'll be able to weigh in more on that.
It's true.
All right, your thoughts.
So once upon a time, in the not so distant past, there was a reference to leprechauns, and I got very excited. Is this it? Is this my leprechauns?
Yeah. And I think this may have been, I think I said at some point we see a Greek god. I think I may have been thinking this was Dionysus instead of Caligula in this episode.
What? We might not get Greek pantheon
Don't know
either?
if we actually get any Greek or Roman gods. Because this was definitely the episode I thought it was in, so...
How could you? You think 6-7 is breaking the podcast. This just broke the podcast.
It's a dude in a toga who likes to party.
Cleansing breath, right? It was fun. I liked the Gordie Salem plotline. Curtis and Nick were both great.
Oh, yeah.
I love a good historical character. Caligula is a little gross. Like, they overplayed his debauchery and it was a little cringe, that plot point there. Also, like, Hilda's probably killed several men. Like, kill him, Hilda. Turn around, zap him, or I don't know.
The question comes in later, is he mortal?
Valid.
And this becomes the question of how do you kill an immortal? Because last episode, or 2 episodes ago, was not easy with the answer.
Well, she pulls from the book of her old boo drill and just explodes people.
I agree that this would have been like an A+ episode with about 90% less innuendo.
Yep.
There was a moment, and I'll see if I can remember where it is when we go through it. There was a moment with Roland where I was like, oh, if they actually just didn't play him from this angle, this would be so much fun. There's a moment where he's not being super creepy, and I was like, there's a way that they could have done this character where it's way, way funnier and way less creepy, and it works. So I'm a little bit disappointed that they tried for the 4th time to make this not seem molesty. Curtis was amazing. And I'm not saying this just because he's now my friend and because he maybe listens to the podcast, but it's like a legitimate crime that that man's not in more things and wasn't cast more often. His facial expressions,
He killed it.
how he matched his face to Nick's voice was awesome. Especially like when he first turns into Salem and he immediately like gets all suave and like raises the eyebrows. I'm like, okay, Gordie, yeah, let's get it. Towards the end when he does like the sobbing, I'm like, that's how I would imagine a human Salem looks when he's making that noise. Like, justice for Curtis Andersen and his facial expressions because they're just chef's kiss. Amazing. Okay, should we get into this one? Ooh, looks like we have a lot of comments on this one. Should be a good one.
Or at least a lot of quotes.
It's all the same. 6-7.
6-7.
I'm gonna fling myself off my roof. Our cold open. A chipper Hilda joins Sabrina and Zelda in the kitchen, but Salem quickly chimes in with his depression.
To me, it's just another day with 8 nipples.
He can't remember what it was like to be human.
This voice used to bark orders to a legion of mercenaries. Now it begs 2 old maids for catnip.
Sabrina helps with, I believe this correct term is spinsters. Sabrina tries to cheer him up with his cat toy, but he just leaves. Zelda and Sabrina go to see if he wants his tummy rubbed while Hilda plays with the toy. Our outfit intro is the same punk goth outfit from Whose So-Called Life Is It Anyway? And she says, "May I have this slam dance?" Which I had to look up, and that's another word for moshing.
Indeed, it is.
There is also a film festival called Slam Dance.
Yeah, it typically takes place at the same time as Sundance.
Where at?
It used to be in Park City as well.
Oh no.
Yeah, it was like,
what's going to happen to it now?
It moved to LA this last year. I think it'll stay there.
Boo. Mr. Kraft is campaigning to be principal in the lunchroom, and I was not aware principal is an elected position.
He's also excited for the whole $418 a year extra he'll get.
Oh, I was going to say, how much is $418 in 1999 in today's money?
$600.
$828.
Okay, this is not fair. I always overestimate. And so now I do a modest, and now I'm wrong by a lot?
To be fair, it could have changed a lot in the past 2 weeks.
That's true. The economy has gone to shit.
It's a little crazy right now. Anyway, Mr. Kraft is campaigning. Libby joins up to help boost his chances, which will in turn help the cheerleaders. Mr. Kraft offers her a dandy, which is grossly gooping and dripping and is maybe slightly less terrible than Drippy Snot Dangle.
He did not make his peanut butter dandy correctly because it should be a nostalgic, quick-setting candy made with peanut butter, honey, dry milk, and powdered sugar. It's often rolled into logs, refrigerated, and sliced into 1-inch pieces, resembling old-fashioned fudge or taffy. And that is an eating experiment for this podcast I can get behind finally.
I have all of those ingredients.
Perfect. We're having dandies.
Okay. I also have some Star Wars Easter eggs I need to get to you. So I'll put the dandies inside the Easter eggs. Libby declines and tells him to get milk to go with them. Mr. Kraft orders Gordie to go and get milk for him.
Gordie says, "Oh, buy a violin practice," to which Mr. Kraft says, "Running my errands comes before rock and roll. So if you don't want to raise your family in detention, go."
And his running away, his facial, his expression, his running. Ugh, why was this man not in everything? Valerie and Sabrina are discussing the St. Patrick's Day dance. Didn't we just have a dance? We just had a dance like a few episodes, didn't we? Am I insane?
I mean, you are insane as well.
This school has so many dances. No wonder they need money from the Alumni Association. Valerie has someone she wants to ask her. Sabrina guesses multiple times, but keeps getting it wrong. Valerie eventually tells her it's Gordie.
And initially, I had an internal fit because last episode it was all Justin, Valerie, they're in a relationship there. But then I realized that was Valentine's Day, and this is St. Patrick's Day, so a month. But Valerie seems to be the kind of person who would mope and bemoan a breakup a lot longer than a month before moving on to someone.
My note was also what happened to Justin, Mr. Thumb. And the fact that she couldn't even talk to Justin the first go round. And now she's like, "Oh, the boys, I like Gordie." I have more issues with her personality, like the next sentence down. Valerie says she's gotten to know him since she started orchestra.
She says that Gordie is the Kevin Costner of the string section.
And this is where Valerie is now in the orchestra, but she's also on the cheer squad, and she's the editor for the school newspaper. I thought this girl was supposed to be the outcast loser who doesn't fit in anywhere. She has 3 extracurriculars, but also, who starts orchestra mid-year? Is that a thing? You have to start from the beginning of the year, don't you?
I would assume so.
Unless you audition in somehow. And we've never heard of this girl playing an instrument besides the band episode. I'm getting such whiplash on Valerie's character. Some episodes, she's like, got it together and she's showing character growth. And then like the next episode, we're right back to, I'm so dumb. I'm the worst. Everybody hates me. So who knows what's going to happen next week? Valerie has been dropping hints, but Gordie hasn't picked up on them. He comes running past, and Sabrina stops him to give a very pointed hint that he should ask Valerie to dance. He just yells that, "Mr. Kraft needs milk," and he runs off again. And the way he delivers that line is between that and "I want a divorce" in Suspicious Minds for my favorite Gordie lines. Both very well delivered. Zelda and Hilda are planning a party to cheer up Salem and look through his confiscated personal effects to find an address book.
They pull out a bank box that is labeled The Universe versus Saberhagen.
Okay, back to the witches or aliens theory. Was his plan after taking over the world to then start going to other planets, galaxies?
Well, he was just focusing on the mortal world first, right? And not doing the other realm?
No.
You know, we'll never have the answer.
Well, apparently the other realm is huge if it contains
multitudes,
galaxies and, light years away. So maybe it'd be easier to start
on Earth. And then
I feel like even all the firepower of Earth would fail against the might of the other
they have
realm.
magic.
I don't know. All they find in the box is 2 Ricolas, a dry cleaning receipt for a velvet cape, and a scepter. Sabrina vents to Salem about her day, but he is unsympathetic and leaves her bedroom. A rainbow suddenly appears, and Roland slides down it.
Roland exclaims, "Faith and Begorra, it's your lover boy," which Irish slang roughly translates to "by God indeed." And really, Roland in this leprechaun job just says whatever Irish phrase comes to mind.
Also, has he ever called himself her lover boy before? Is this new? It feels like an escalation to me.
I feel like it's an escalation. Harvey's farm boy. Roland is lover boy.
Where's Thumbelina? Did her and Justin Thumb run off together?
Ooh, I like that.
Thumbelina's probably 400 years old. Roland has a new job as a leprechaun.
He says, "It's part of my new job. You know, after a lot of therapy, I've finally figured out why you and I never clicked." Sabrina says, "Your personality?" Roland says, "No, you're shallow, so I needed a glamorous job to impress you. So say hello to your dream date leprechaun, Roland. Erin go bragh," which is Ireland forever.
You know what? Yeah, Ireland forever.
Yeah, I like the Irish.
Sabrina is not impressed and rejects him for the 1000th time. She tries to help him back up the rainbow, and we get a very creepy moment. Oh, I wanted to throw up a little bit in this part. Roland decides to use the linen closet instead,
telling Sabrina, "Boy, you're sounding like a ball and chain already."
Some of the comments he's made about her nagging him, he just needs somebody who's in charge.
It's a good theory there.
You can pay for that, Roland. Use your leprechaun money.
There's also no cauldron as far as Cauldron Watch, but could have been a good opportunity for, pot of gold. Add the writer's thought of it. Make those pens some gold.
They were too busy writing this gem of Roland. Salem sobs as he watches a Richard Simmons infomercial. Zelda and Hilda trying to find the address book again.
This isn't just an infomercial. It's info truth. Sob.
Also, R.I.P. to Richard Simmons. He passed away in July of 2024. He is amazing. Gordie is giving an announcement over the PA to invite everyone to a rally for Mr. Kraft. Anyone who doesn't attend will be caned. Sabrina opens her locker and a love letter falls out from Roland. Harvey reads it and is mildly concerned. Sabrina grabs it and throws it away, calling it junk mail. As she goes to the garbage, she sees a rainbow down another hallway with everyone staring at it. Roland then comes running by and steals her backpack. She chases after him and catches him in an empty classroom. Now that she has caught him, she's entitled to 3 wishes. She uses her first wish to wish him away. Smart move. Back home, Salem tells Sabrina he tried on one of his old suits and almost suffocated in the sleeve. You know that scene in Cinderella where Lucifer gets caught in the sleeve of the dress and the mice are making the dress? That's what I imagine it looked like.
Lucifer.
He spots the wish coupons on Sabrina's desk and begs her to use one to turn him back into a human. Sabrina tells him no, but he argues that she wouldn't be using her magic. It's Roland that will get in trouble if the Witches' Council finds out.
If anyone found out, it'd be his emerald keister in a sling.
She also points out that last time he was a man, he tried to take over the world. He promises no politics and begs some more. Sabrina calls Roland to tell him she has a wish. Sabrina and Salem lay out the terms of the wish. Salem will enter the body of a student at school so Sabrina can keep an eye on him.
Salem says preferably a young Dan Blocker type. Dan Blocker was an American television actor and Korean War vet who is best known for playing Eric Haas Cartwright in Bonanza. During his younger days pre-TV breakout, he was a rodeo performer and bouncer at an intimidating 6'4" and 300 pounds.
Also, I'm glad Curtis got the opportunity to play Salem. If Roland really wanted to cause mischief, he should have put Salem in Harvey's body. Sabrina will keep 1 wish coupon to bring him back. Sabrina casts the wish, and Salem's essence leaves the cat and enters Roland's hat. The cat is now a normal cat until Salem returns.
So, my assumption up to this point is you have Salem the human.
Okay.
physically transformed down into a cat. That cat is his body. Now we have a cat with its own personality, and just the essence of Salem has left this cat. So we have created life, or we have created two distinct consciousnesses.
It's Mando.
It's Mando Cat.
No. I guess the question would be, if you were to take the essence of a person out of their human body, what would be left?
I would assume like a zombie-like creature, like your soul's gone.
So is there a reason it's different for animals? And where does it come from and where does it go? Cotton Eye Joe? They should have brought back the Mando.
They really should have.
I don't know how to answer this one. Aliens.
Aliens.
Oh, maybe cats are actually an earth creature that don't exist. And so when they turn witches into cats, they actually have to use another cat body and they shove the witch into the cat body because aliens? I don't know.
So it's like a parasite, like the
Yes.
the things that go in the ears during in Animorphs, the yergs or whatever.
I'm going with yes. Cat Salem goes downstairs as Hilda and Zelda subtly try to ask where his address book is.
Zelda says, "Oh, hello, Salem. Listen, we need a good haberdasher." Hilda says, "And since you know so many people who haberdash, would you happen to know where your old address book is?"
The cat just meows and walks away. Gordie is helping Mr. Kraft hang up campaign posters.
Gordie says, "Sir, my thumb is really starting to throb," to which Mr. Kraft says, "Oh, stop kissing up and finish the job."
Valerie comes over and drops yet another hint about asking her to the dance. He again doesn't get it.
Gordie says, "The poster. Hey, Valerie," to which Valerie gives an excited yes. Gordie says, "If I use the same tackles, I might be able to avoid thumb surgery."
Sabrina and Roland are walking down the hall discussing who to choose. Okay, we need to discuss timeline of this episode for a minute. Sabrina's in the same outfit from the earlier school scene. Did she just go home for lunch? Because the school day continues from here on out. And it seems like a lot of school day. So I don't even know if she left at lunch or if she just like left during a class and was hanging out at home.
Sabrina really loves to just pop on over to the house whenever.
Yeah, they should have at least established that it was like a new day or something. This is really wild. And she's in the same outfit for the rest of this episode. So the rest of the episode is all one day. Oh, there's also kids in the background because I paused it as I was having this thought. And I paused it just as Sabrina and Roland round the corner. And there's a group of 3 kids behind them. And they're all staring at Roland and laughing at him. So people are realizing there's a person in leprechaun clothes wandering the halls and they're acknowledging it. Roland says the kid that is chosen will think he was at home with the mumps. Who got the mumps in 1999? No one I know.
There are still outbreaks, which is why everyone get your MMR vaccines, please. And thank you.
Apparently my dad had the mumps as a kid.
Oh.
Yeah, not pleasant. Roland picks Gordie and takes his hat off just as Valerie again asks Gordie about the dance. Suddenly, Gordie is talking in Salem's voice and asks Valerie out and tells her he's bringing her roses, then chucks her on the chin. He walks off and Valerie tells Sabrina that Gordie just hit puberty. Sabrina catches up with Salem/Gordie, who is excited to be standing. He asked Valerie to be of service and to thank Sabrina. He nuzzles against her. Cat Salem is grooming himself as Hilda and Zelda debate what kind of party to throw now that they have found his address book.
Hilda says, "Yeah, who would have thought it'd be next to the phone?"
Hilda immediately comes out and just asks, but the cat leaves. Gordie/Salem is licking his hand and Sabrina hits him to stop. Valerie comes by and Gordie carries her books to English,
saying, "I'd better check these books for hidden explosives."
Salem Gordie's smooth. Sabrina yells after him not to forget who he's supposed to be. Harvey joins Sabrina at her locker and apologizes for getting jealous about the love letter. She assures him she has no idea how it got in there. When she opens her locker, it falls out again, this time in a silver frame. Harvey is again suspicious. Suddenly, there's cheering coming from down the hall, and Sabrina runs to check on Gordie and Valerie. Harvey throws out the framed letter.
Harvey remarks, "It's real silver. Do you know how often you're gonna have to clean this?"
Do you think it came from things remembered? Gordie is kissing Valerie while dipping her, and everyone cheers. What are our feelings on potentially hundreds-of-year-old cat spirit in teenage boy body kissing teenage girl?
Compared to other plot lines in this, I'm fine with it.
All right.
I feel like the subconscious of Gordie that's been crammed into a back corner would also be enjoying it.
I did not get the feeling that Salem's doing it because he's attracted to Valerie. He did it because he thinks it's what he should do as Gordie
Yeah.
to like woo this girl that Gordie clearly likes.
And Valerie obviously has no objections either, so.
Oh gosh, no. Well, she doesn't to this. Also, by how long the cheering's going on, he's been dipping her for a while, which is impressive strength. Sabrina immediately yells at Gordie, Salem. He puts Valerie back upright, and she leaves smiling. Sabrina grabs Salem and drags him to math class, berating him.
Look, just go to math and be Gordie, or you go back to the litter box.
He promises to behave, then passes by one of Mr. Croft's campaign posters and considers high school politics. I do like how Mr. Croft's campaign posters are a caricature of him. Zelda and Hilda are still brainstorming party ideas. They cast a spell to take them to Salem's favorite party.
Hair of a dog, a laugh that's hearty. Take us to Salem's favorite party.
They end up in ancient Rome, which here's a question. Speaking of other questions that don't have answers. If the answer like 600 years old or 500, depending on the episode, if Salem went to a Caligula party, is he 2,000 years old?
It's possible, but it also seems like time travel has absolutely no consequences. Or if Caligula's a witch, it's just another realm constant party that people drop in and drop out of.
All right.
Aliens.
I need to like Photoshop one of our faces on the History Channel aliens guy.
Man, I always wanted to be on the History Channel.
Well, if we keep talking about aliens, we might be. Anyway, Caligula's there in ancient Rome. He immediately hits on the ants and wiggles his eyebrows. Zelda quickly zaps them back home.
Gaius Julius Caesar Augustus Germanicus, also known as Caligula.
How did they get Caligula out of that?
Rome.
Aliens.
He reigned from 37 to 41 in Common Era years there, and is primarily known as one of Rome's most cruel, eccentric, and depraved emperors, often depicted as a mad tyrant. His short 4-year reign was marked by allegations of incest, excessive spending, severe cruelty to the Senate, and declaring himself a living god. Also, tried to appoint his horse as a consul.
The more things change, the more they stay the same. At this point, I would take a horse. Gordie/Salem joins Libby at a table in the cafeteria. Is it lunchtime? I don't know. I feel like we were already in the cafeteria earlier today. What is this timetable? He wants to discuss the Kraft campaign with her.
Who do you think stuffed the ballots in Chicago that got Kennedy elected? A lot of dead people voted that year, twice. Ha 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 ha. I don't feel like Salem would be pro-Kennedy, though.
I'm looking up who was the Republican opponent. Ooh, would he be more Nixon?
Oh, yeah.
Would he? I feel like he would just hate Nixon as a person.
I guess which one's out, person or values?
Maybe the shooting of JFK was traumatic enough for him that then he switched to becoming a dictator. And he was like, you can't trust these mortals to do anything.
Now that's a conspiracy theory.
We all know Hilda would have voted for Nixon.
It's true.
Sabrina spots Gordie Salem, and he immediately clams up, then goes to talk to her. She asks him what he was doing with Libby, and he claims they're lab partners. He also says, we don't like her, right? Although Libby did give him some very nice pets when her and Sabrina switched personalities. And he's also been inside Libby's brain, so he knows her pretty well. Sabrina shoves him into his math class, which he was supposed to go to like 5 minutes ago. We're going back to math class again. And Sabrina's still in the hallway. And Harvey's also still in the hallway because he approaches Sabrina, who is going back to her locker again. Keeps going back to her locker and taking nothing out of it.
Very Groundhog's Day. It's just the same hour, though, and not a day repeating, just an hour over and over.
Harvey confronts her about spending so much time with Gordie as she opens her locker to show that the letter is now hanging framed on the door. Harvey asks for an explanation, but Sabrina can't come up with one. Roland appears, and Harvey asks what her cousin is doing here. Sabrina grabs him and drags him away to talk, telling him to knock it off with the love letter. He asks for a kiss first, but she yells at him to go. Zelda and Hilda are discussing the guest list for Salem's party when Caligula sneaks up from behind the counter. They spot him and ask him why he snuck home with them.
He says, I'm just like Dr. Pepper, so misunderstood.
Dr. Pepper misunderstood?
I don't think so.
Or is it pretty widely loved?
I don't think Caligula is widely loved.
Maybe in the 90s it didn't enjoy the same popularity. Although I feel like, was I in my Dr. Pepper era at this time? I think I was. Caligula just wiggles his eyebrows again and starts chasing them. Valerie and Sabrina are walking down the hallway as Sabrina looks for Gordie. Valerie doesn't like how he's changed. She thinks he tried to play footsie with her in orchestra, and that bothers her. Okay, Sabrina yells that she'll kill him. Valerie isn't that upset and leaves as Sabrina yells Gordie's name. Harvey hears this and is officially upset. Why is she so interested in Gordie? Sabrina gives an excuse that he owes her money. Hilda and Zelda are still being chased by Caligula and ask Cat Salem for help, but he does not. Harvey didn't find Gordie in the bathroom, but he did find Roland. Sabrina asks him if he saw Salem. Roland says he saw Gordie/Salem with Libby and Mr. Kraft talking about an election. Sabrina freaks out and runs to stop him. Harvey asks Roland what he said to her, and Roland yells that it's none of his milk-fed business, farm boy.
To which Harvey says to himself, this may not be a family I want to marry into. Hold your horses, Harvey. This is a high school relationship.
Gordie/Salem is going over his plan with Libby and Mr. Kraft.
We start by announcing that LaRue has gout and a secret family.
Lead with the gout, yes. He then says they can take over the world, but quickly corrects it to state. Sabrina sees this.
Your biped days are over, Cat.
And angrily calls for Roland while going down the hall. Harvey again hears this and is suspicious and confused. Sabrina checks her locker again for the coupon. Now the framed letter has a spotlight over it. Sabrina grabs her jacket and goes home to get the coupon. Harvey is more confused. Caligula continues to chase Hilda and Zelda as Sabrina comes in. Sabrina finds the coupon on her desk and says she wishes Roland would get over here. He appears and the coupon is gone. She blew her last wish. What is she going to do now? Suddenly, bounty hunters appear with warrants for Caligula, Hilda, Zelda, Salem, Roland, and Sabrina. More chasing ensues. We get a chase scene montage.
Based on the subtitled text, it should be My Favorite Game by the Cardigans playing in the background.
I did not get any lyrics. I didn't check the actual music to see if it was that. Caligula, bounty hunters, Roland, and the Spellmans run throughout the house. Gordie/Salem, Mr. Kraft, and Libby plot their takeover on a map of Massachusetts. Gordie smacks Mr. Kraft on the head when he moves a pin. More chasing in the house. Now Mr. Kraft, Gordie, Salem, and Libby are plotting on a map of the U.S. with planes and tank figurines. Libby smacks Mr. Kraft on the head when he starts playing with the figurines. The bounty hunters take Caligula, Zelda, Hilda, and Sabrina through the linen closet. Roland peeks out from the laundry hamper.
Hilda says, I still don't know what I did wrong. Bounty Hunter 1 says, you let Charlie Toga Party exit the other realm and his time period. Bounty Hunter 2 says, the last time he got loose, the 60s happened.
So we didn't get a credit for the other bounty hunter. We only got a credit for one of them.
Yep.
One of them got screwed out of a credit. The Spellmans and Caligula are standing trial in ancient Rome. First up are Hilda and Zelda. They are accused of sneaking Caligula into the mortal realm, but he's stowed away. Hilda and Zelda are innocent, and Caligula is sentenced to another 100 years of unbridled decadence and non-stop partying. Next up is Sabrina for turning Salem into a human. Sabrina says she doesn't see what the big deal is, and Salem is probably just hanging around school. The judge conjures up a screen where Mr. Kraft is announcing his run for governor, and we get a reference to Jesse Ventura, who was a wrestler and governor of Minnesota, who got elected later in 1999. But I think he was running at this time.
Yeah, through 2003 he served, and he is, so far, the only member of the Reform Party to actually win a seat in office.
What is the Reform Party's platform?
Reform.
What kind? There's many ways you could define reform in this country.
See, it appeals to everyone. You just say, reform.
The judge confronts Sabrina about blaming this on Roland. She again tries to place the blame on him, but eventually admits she knows she should take responsibility. She just felt bad for Salem and asks for leniency. She is found guilty and will be thrown to the lions. Zelda tries to give her a pep talk and reminds her that lions can smell fear.
Oh, so bravery will cover up the smell of my tender flesh?
But first, the national anthem.
Caligula remarks, I hate it when Nero fiddles. The home team always loses.
The fiddler turns and it's revealed to be Roland and Salem Gordie. Roland apologizes for ditching Sabrina, but he had to talk Salem out of taking down Microsoft.
I took offense to this because no one needs to help take down Microsoft. They screw themselves over daily.
Oh, Microsoft. I have a meeting on Teams tomorrow and I'm already dreading it. Teams is the worst.
It is.
Salem apologizes and sobs.
I didn't want to hurt you. I just wanted to rule you.
It's fair. He turns to the judge to face his fate. The judge tells Sabrina she has once again dodged a bullet, which is the name of the lion. Sabrina faints, and Caligula starts to move to give her mouth to mouth before Hilda hits him. That didn't need to be in there. That was unnecessary. Salem, again a cat, is sobbing about having to serve another 50 years as a cat. He'll be an old man. Question, how old is he now? Is he not already an old man?
What is old and which years?
It's not 600, I can tell you that.
It might be 2050.
Maybe it is 2000. Zelda tries to cheer him up by pointing out that John Glenn is still going strong, R.I.P.
John Herschel Glenn Jr. was an American Marine Corps aviator, astronaut, businessman, and politician. He was the third American in space and the first to orbit the Earth, circling it 3 times in 1962. Following his retirement from NASA, he served from 1974 to 1999 as a U.S. Senator from Ohio, and in 1998 he flew into space again at the age of 77.
Hilda tells Salem he should thank Roland for getting him to turn himself in. Roland says he doesn't need thanks, he did it for love. He also started a new job as a bounty hunter.
Roland says, "You don't like the leprechaun thing, do ya? That's why I started an exciting new job on Monday." Salem said, "Organ donor?" Roland says, "Bounty hunter. So let's just hope next time we meet, it's not because there's a price on your head, pretty lady."
Ew. The part where I was like, oh, Roland's actually not terrible was the previous scene where he shows up. Like, there's a world where Roland is just out to cause mischief. And then he has like a turning point without the weird hitting on an underage girl. Roland zaps away. Sabrina is exhausted and ready to go to bed. But because of the time change, it's time for her to go to school. In the same outfit she's been wearing for what feels like 72 hours. Gordie and Valerie are talking about how he had the mumps.
I thought I'd already had the mumps, but it sure does explain a lot. Valerie says, "Yeah, especially the low voice and the narcissistic tendencies. I'm just glad you're back to your old self."
He asks her to the slicery, then cringes, but Valerie happily accepts. Libby and Mr. Kraft are bemoaning his dive in the polls. Mr. Kraft blames Gordie.
Mother always said that freckles are the devil's fresco.
That's a brilliant line. Gordie and Valerie walk by, and Mr. Kraft gives Gordie a stack of detention slips. Harvey and Sabrina meet up, and Sabrina apologizes for being distracted. He accepts until he sees the letter is still hanging in her locker. Sabrina immediately zaps his name on it. Harvey stares at it confused as Sabrina hugs him.
Gaslighting. So great.
In the end tag, Hilda and Zelda are going to take naps, but notice a lot of people in their living room. They forgot Salem's party. Zelda greets Marianne Mobley, who asks what Castro is doing there. And that's the end. Any final thoughts, Skye?
I know they sort of explain us never seeing Gordie again with Mr. Kraft being like, "Oh, you have enough detention to get you through graduate school," and Gordie's like, "Rain check to Valerie." But I think it could have been like a good opportunity to like bring him into the trio and like have Valerie and Gordie date, and it would have been fantastic.
Harvey needs a friend.
Exactly.
I think Dashiell and Harvey would have been fun for like a few episodes or like half a season. And then I think Harvey and Gordie, it would have been like fun, like the jock, the nerd vibes. There's stuff to be mined here, and I don't know why they didn't do it. Starting season 4, there is a tonal shift in the show. It's pretty big in 4, and then it gets even bigger in 5. And I don't know if that was writers, showrunners, if that was network. I know when they moved to what was then the WB, that's part of it because they wanted to be more adults. But the fact that they saw Gordie in this episode and saw what he was able to do and then just did nothing more with it, bananas. 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 What's your new Skydle?
Skye, amazing.
What's your new title?
Well, instead of Salem the boy, it might need to be Salem the geriatric? Question mark. But also, you know, Gordie's playing a little bit of a suave character, so Flash Gordon.
Oh.
If we're gonna reference old 80s stuff, why not something a little bit more relevant?
We didn't get any help on the Family Secret. What do you think it is?
Oh gosh, I forgot about the Family Secret. The Spellmans can time travel with no consequences.
I feel like we've had that one before.
We probably have. I'm desperately pulling off the top of my head. Empire of the Spellmans plus Robert E. Lee's pet snake is born with a something minus E, is where we're at. Look, I have the board memorized in my head now, and I do not like that.
Proud of you. Our next episode with another just groundbreaking title is season 3, episode 18, Sabrina the Teenage Writer.
Whoa.
Whoa.
I have no clue what this could be about. I think we're going back to, is it the newspaper she was in initially, and then Valerie became editor-in-chief? There's going to be a coup, and Sabrina's going to oust Valerie. Libby will be in there somewhere as well. Chaos. Mr. Kraft gives detention again. Harvey remains confused.
It's a pretty good episode. We get to see some different acting from our characters in this one, which is kind of nice.
Sabrina becomes a fan fiction writer, and then they all act out the fan fiction.
Oh boy. Well, please like, share, rate, and subscribe to this podcast. You can email us at somethingwitchypod@gmail.com, and you can follow us on Instagram at somethingwitchypod. Until next time,
stay magical.